All right, we're back. This is Burning Hammer Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to our friends at W. You can go to w.gg and use our promo code for 10% off. So do that. It helps us.
It does help us, yep.
It helps you, too.
It does, because it's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to get you to stop buying a bunch of Red Bulls or something.
Yeah, it's got like nootropics and stuff.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
It's good, too. Tastes good.
It is good.
Yep.
So
we
today,
say it every episode, but like, yeah, it is actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep ordering it, so.
You do, yeah.
So today is a banked episode. We're gonna try and not talk about anything topical.
Yep. As far as like current events.
Yeah. I think we're gonna. I would like to just talk about promos.
Yep, that seems to be what we're going to talk about. I'm excited for this.
Yeah,
this is going to be hilarious.
I want to talk about like some of my favorite promos, things like that. And I really didn't do any thinking about it, so it's all going to be off the top of my head. Yeah, I remember.
This is how we do the banked episodes on purpose. We're sitting here to do an episode anyways.
Right.
And then we record a bank.
Might as well do
one. And while
we're
sitting here, after we end the other one, we go, what do you want to talk about? So there's no research. Yeah. It's super off the cuff, and we just riff until we think we have enough time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Cody Rhodes. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. We're going to talk about promos. So you mentioned to me,
I was thinking shoot promos, yeah.
I said,
but it's kind of hard to think of a bunch of them.
One.
Yeah.
Because my first thought was the pipe bomb. But was it even really a shoot? Kind of.
It's debatable. I think a lot of it was.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because like, how much of it was? Because like, they cut the mic.
Yep.
He's like, let me tell you a story about Vince McMahon. Ooh. And then they cut the mic.
Yeah, that's sketchy. That's
right, because you don't know now. You don't know.
Now we look and go,
maybe he knew something.
Yeah. How far was he gonna go if they didn't cut his mic?
Yeah,
that's
why I think a lot of that was
because he also didn't give a fuck if he got fired at that point.
He was leaving.
Yeah,
he didn't care. Let's see, Cena Reigns. I wrote down because I was thinking about him.
Yeah,
Cena Reigns 2017. This is not fully good. Shoot, obviously.
No.
It was so good because Cena, he wanted to push Roman, to be better at promos.
He needed to.
And he did need to.
Yeah,
and I think this was it was really good. Now this is the one, if you can't remember specifically.
Oh, I remember.
It's 2017. Roman is basically, he's becoming the next John Cena, basically, is how it's panning out. Cena comes back. They're going to have this match at No Mercy. And it's the one where Roman sort of, he basically like freezes up during this promo. And Cena lights him up for it.
And Cena, to preface this, is one of the best promos ever.
It is, yeah.
Consistently. Not just
this one right here, I think is one of my favorite Cena promos.
As a promo guy, Cena's top 5 or 10 ever.
And that's undeniable.
Undeniable.
There's a lot of Cena haters. But now, like, the later you go on, the more you get more appreciation.
Once he left and was gone for a while, people went, oh no, he's actually one of the best ever. Shit.
Yes. This promo too was absolutely savage too. He goes, it's called a promo, big. He goes, it's called a promo, kid. What does he say? If you want to be the big dog, you got to learn how to do it, or something. Dude, it was so good.
He destroys him.
Oh my god, yeah. Because like I said, Roman kind of freezes up during this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting there thinking for a second, and Cena's sitting against the ropes, just going like, what do you got? Like, give me something here. And then Roman does try to turn it on. And he's like, the reason they hate you is because first of all, you suck. And it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Give me something else. But like he tried to turn it on, and you could see it was a little like manufactured the way he was doing it. it was like he was in promo class, you know.
Yes. And Cena took him to school.
And he was the instructor of it. It's one of my favorite promos ever because just the way he kind of broke it down.
Yeah.
And he showed, like, Cena just shows that he's levels above guys. And he also expresses to Roman that, like, this is important. You have to learn how to do this. And I'm going to show you what happens when you can't.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
The other one was after the pipe bomb, because we talked about the pipe bomb before the episode because we were going to, you know, talking about like shoot promos or whatever.
Yep.
This one's after the pipe bomb, and there's one between Triple H and CM Punk. That's a shoot, and I feel like it was sort of, but Triple H
like probably a worked shoot where it's like he's saying stuff that is very real. But they're working an angle.
Yeah, that one I enjoyed too, and I don't know what year was the pipe bomb. I don't even know.
Oh man, 2011 or 2013 or it was somewhere in 2011, 12, 13, somewhere in there. Yeah, because he left in 2013 or 2014. I want to say 2013. There was a feud
with Triple H, sort of, but
yeah, kind of.
There was
never really.
There was a pretty good promo there too. I thought that was fucking sweet.
Yeah, where Triple H is literally just standing there going.
Just listening to him.
Just letting him say everything. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it was really good too. The pipe bomb obviously is a big one.
So one of my favorite promos ever, and it's super random, but it's absolutely like top 5 favorite promos anybody's ever given, is Ric Flair in WCW. And it's when Bischoff and him were feuding. Bischoff was still seen as like the guy in control, right? Mm-hmm. And Bischoff fucked them over. And it was like a match before it, like at a pay-per-view or something. Bischoff screwed him, and I'm sure there was a bunch of bullshit. So Flair comes out, and he tells this whole story about how he's on a plane or whatever. And then
he's always on a plane.
Yeah, he's on a private jet or whatever, and he's going home or whatever. And then the pilot asks him where he wants to go, and he's like, "I want to go to Charlotte." And it's Flair. I'm not even going to try to do a wicked good Flair, but yeah, he starts screaming. He starts getting in Flair mode, and then all of a sudden, of course,
he's throwing these.
It comes down to him taking off his jacket and shit. And he fucking lifts his jacket down. He pulls out 10 grand in cash. He fucking rips $100 bills and shit. He's like, Bischoff.
And his hair's fucking going all over the place.
Yep. But he like takes his fucking he takes his suit off, and the big lines that he says that are like all-time classic Flair lines to me is he says he has clothes with him, like on a hanger in like a dry cleaning bag, right? That he was traveling with, and he takes it out. And he's like tears his whole suit up and shit. And he's like, "See this?" And he's like screaming, "It's like Armani or something."
I think I remember this.
And he's like, "This is how I travel, you jackass." He throws it on the ground. And he says, "Custom made from head to toe, always have been and always will be." And then he starts taking off his clothes, and he's like, $35,000 Rolex. It's yours. And he like spikes it on the ground, and he's tearing $100 bills and shit. And he says he's gonna sign everything over. I'll sign everything over to you. You can have my kids and my wife and shit like that.
Yeah, I do remember.
So ridiculous. He takes his shoe off and he football spirals it down bad in a guy's face in the crowd. Just kill that guy. Whips it, but just bombs his shoe, spikes his shoe down in the guy's face in the crowd. That dude had no chance to prep. Just eats alligator shoe in the mouth. Just boom, wicked bad. He gets down to his boxers and shit, and he hits the ropes and struts and drops a knee or an elbow or whatever on the coat and shit. Yeah, and then he tells Bischoff, he's like, he says, "Bischoff, I'm on my hands and knees or whatever. I'm begging you, be a man." And he's like, "Come down here and face me one more time. And if you beat me, I'm gone forever. And if I beat you, I want control of WCW for like 60 days or something. Then he handcuffs himself to the ropes, facing hardcam in just his boxers and like high socks, and says, if you go to commercial break, I'll be butt naked in the ring by the time you come back. If you're not here by the time the commercial's over, I'll be naked in the ring.
That's fucking
that
hilarious.
promo is so insane. The other line, I'm pretty sure he
That
says
is so
in that,
off the fucking rails, dude.
It's the most unhinged Flair promo I've ever seen. And I'm pretty sure the other line he says in that is, I've lived the life of a king because the people have allowed me to. And it's just another all-time classic Flair line. He is, dude.
Yeah,
say what you want about the guy, because obviously he's shot. You know what I mean? But man, is he one of the greatest ever. Not just because he was, good in the ring, but I think a lot of the reason why he's so many of our favorite guys' favorite guy from when they were kids and stuff is because the character work.
Right.
His character work and his promos were just
undeniably
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that promo is so fucking funny. If you've never seen that Flair promo, look it up, dude. Anything he ever did in the WCW was so funny, dude.
A lot of these promos, I missed, you know what I mean? So a lot of the time it's like ones I'm going back to see.
I'll send it to you. That's one of the best.
Like there's all kinds of, like the cream of the crop.
Oh yeah. The Macho Man ones from back in the day.
Yeah.
With the props, dude. That one is the best one. That's a different level. That's genius. He's doing sleight of hand magic tricks with fucking coffee creamer thing.
Yeah.
While cutting a great promo in character. He's underrated promo, man. I mean, to our generation, he is. I'm sure guys like a little bit older than us that were kids or older during his big WWF
all over
run.
the place when I was growing
God,
up,
man.
He was like Slim Jim commercials.
Yeah, well, in the 90s and WCW was great too.
Yeah.
But his best work was the late 80s in WCW.
But that was where I think he was at the peak of his fame, was like that 90s, mid-90s.
Slim Jim and stuff. Yeah. Yep. I love Macho Man. Great promo.
Oh, dude, yeah.
He was always perceived. A lot of people our generation, like we're in our 30s or whatever, right? So I wasn't watching wrestling in the late 80s during the peak of his run.
Right.
I just wasn't watching. I was born in 88. So I just can't know.
Yeah, I didn't know what wrestling was till I was 5 or 6.
So people our age, they might look at him and go, Macho Man was a great promo because he was so shot. He was just super coked up and shit. No, he was genius.
Yeah, he was good.
Genius.
He was a good character too.
And he knew exactly what he was doing, dude. Mm-hmm. He knew exactly what he was doing. To do the sleight of hand shit while cutting promos.
It's about how well you know your character.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep. Hogan did the same thing.
You can make fun of Hogan's promos and shit.
Hogan wasn't
by
a good
today's standards.
Yeah, he wasn't a good promo guy in that. He was very basic with it. Everything was kind of the same. His promos were mostly
I think he was better in WCW as Hollywood.
Oh, sure he was.
I think that's the best work of Hogan's career.
It is. Absolutely it is.
Yeah. Yep. Hollywood Hogan is so awesome.
Yes. That's the only the only Hogan that's like,
it's the only one I ever care about.
Worth paying attention
Hulkamania.
to.
I knew about him before he turned though. Like as a little kid, I saw Suburban Commando and me and my brother loved it.
I mean, he was the champ when I was born.
That's true. That's true. Yep.
He was the champ.
He was still around in the early 90s or whatever. Yeah. That was like the tail end of his WWE run originally. Mm-hmm. Then he went to WCW in the early 90s and then the NWO thing happened.
Yeah. Well, he was the champ for anyone around our age because he just always had the belt.
Yep. So here's my question for you though. Back to promos. What do you think your favorite promo ever is if you had to pick one? Could you? And if not, what do you think some of them are? You don't have to go too, you don't have to break the whole promo down, but just what do you think it is? If you had to pick one. I know mine, and I don't even have to think about it.
I can't say, okay, so like, yeah, it's hard to say favorite because like there's ones that I like because they're so bad.
And it could be a video package, that counts.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in ring.
I think
just talking
ones
segment.
that I like ones that are bad because they're bad.
That's good.
Like
That's
the
fine.
Shockmaster, obviously.
Shockmaster's incredible.
Because it was
That's
obviously
wicked funny.
It was
And
just a
also,
disaster.
It's a super disaster. And then when
Yeah.
Shockmaster talks, it's just Ole Anderson in the back going, "Come get me." Yeah, you. Like just doing fucking the claw guy from Inspector Gadget or whatever. It's like, really?
And he's
that, and I've heard that's not the only time Ole Anderson tried to get a character out there where it was him doing that voice. Like, he had this obsession with, we've got to have a character where I do this and I'm on mic in the back. It's like, why? Why was that ever a thought? Why was he so obsessed with that? And when was that going to work?
Well, all of it was bad. Like, they were like, they didn't have, they put glitter on a Star Wars
My favorite thing about that is it's so clearly a Stormtrooper mask.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Everybody, the idea is so bad.
How did they not get,
but when he
sued
falls,
for that?
I love that you can, on mic, you can hear everybody peel out and just go, "Oh God, it's ruined. It's ruined." Like,
Flair is literally walking off set because he knows
he's
it's
done
gonna
with
be
it.
bad.
He's done with it. Yeah, he's like, okay. I love the story that Dusty tells about it too back in the day. You know what series is wicked good? Not to go too deep into it, but this is where I heard the story. WWE on the network, they used to have a show on WWE channel. Remember that?
Yeah.
When they had the TV channel on digital cable for a little bit?
Yeah, there was,
and they would air matches
Table
and
for
stuff.
3, and there was like,
Well, Table for 3 was a network thing, but they used to have a show called Legends, I think. And
Legends
it was
House,
like
I think it was called.
This is different. Legends House is a good show too.
It's like that was like a reality show.
This one is a bunch of legendary guys get in front to a table with like drinks and cigars and whatever, and they just talk about a
Michael
topic.
Hayes and
and it was usually like Mean Gene Okerlund hosting. Sometimes it was JR.
I remember that.
But on that, they were talking about like the worst gimmicks of all time. Super random. But Dusty was on there and he talked about the Shockmaster and he told this funny ass story about Cody. How Cody Rhodes was a little kid when that happened and he was backstage. And the guy that played him, I think his name was Fred or something.
I can't remember, but there was like a promo more recently where Becky runs into him backstage.
Yeah.
Or something.
But Cody knew him as his uncle. So I can't remember the guy's name, which is a bummer because apparently the dude was really nice. But let's say it's Fred just for this. Dusty Rhodes told the story where he's like, when I got back or whatever, Cody was there. And Cody saw the thing go down and he was like, was that Uncle Fred? And he was just like, we're fucked. It's over. This is over. He didn't really see it. He instantly went, it's that guy. I know him.
It was over when it started.
Over. Yeah, that isn't when it was over.
You know,
when Cody
honestly,
noticed, it was really over when
that
it came
gimmick
out.
was over was when they bought the Stormtrooper mask.
That's it.
That was instantly
The second they went, you know what we need to do? Stormtrooper mask and just spray paint it with glitter. It's over. It's over. Everybody watching knows it's a Stormtrooper mask right off the bat, and they're going,
how did
this
they
is
not
cheap.
get like
Bottom of the barrel
sued by
cheap.
like Lucasfilm or something?
Because it never went anywhere.
Well, yeah, but they probably would have.
The helmet fell off second one. He tripped and went, my helmet's gone.
Yeah, he falls through the wall.
Yep. Trips on a board, falls through the wall, dumps his helmet. You full see him. And then he puts it back on, and then Ole Anderson comes on the mic. I'm the Shockmaster.
Fully upside down almost on the fucking thing. Loses the helmet, has to put it back on. That's so bad, dude.
One of the
couldn't have gone worse.
Couldn't have gone worse. One of the most what the fuck things ever.
Then he's trying to talk.
Yep.
He's trying to move his hands, but he doesn't realize Sid Vicious is talking.
Yeah.
Not
because he can't see shit.
Yeah.
They didn't even, dude,
There's no eye holes. It's pitch black on the fucking
he's
thing.
gotta be just going, please be facing the right way. Like, that's so crazy.
For all he knows, he's fucking spun
around. It's so
around.
crazy that they thought they were gonna pull that off and it was gonna. What do you do when he wrestles, huh? What do you do?
Right.
Does he take the Stormtrooper helmet off?
I think they said that like it was like last minute and they couldn't get them a mask or something.
That is you
so
just
like you'd have to get another
fuck off.
Push it to next week and fucking get a goddamn mask.
Unbelievable.
Well, they were trying to reveal like the third partner for somebody's team.
Yeah, I know. It was for like War Games or something.
They were in like a rush to do it.
Yeah.
none other than the Shockmaster,
dude. And he goes, yup, it's over immediately. It's one of the greatest things ever. But that's why, like, so picking a favorite promo, having something that bad, I'm like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, it's got it. That's just so good. And like,
It's so
many
funny,
ways.
dude. For me, without thought, don't have to look shit up. My favorite promo anybody has ever delivered by a mile is the Stone Cold Steve Austin promo from 1996 with Bret Hart. Not the King of the Ring.
Oh, really?
The promo package that Stone Cold Steve Austin pissed off in black and white in some abandoned warehouse with some chained up dog for no reason. And he just starts by saying,
just
pink tights. What the hell is that all about, Brett? Sunglasses and sparklers. What a load of crap. Yeah. That promo is 1A, the greatest promo I've ever seen. I saw that when I was a kid, and I was just like, this is the hardest guy of all time.
Yeah, he was awesome. You stupid son of a bitch. Dude, he just everything he said.
Stupid piece of trash.
Everything he said came off so hard.
I was your friend when he's fucking screws over Mick
He's kind of like that in real life. Like, he was on Punk'd one time, and he like went after the guy who was punking. He was like,
"Oh yeah, you don't give a fuck.
You're a dumb son of a bitch. You know that?
Yeah,
it's fucking,
dude. Fucking don't fuck with him." And now he's like the internet's favorite cat dad and shit, and he's great. And I love seeing him with his cats, Pancho and Macho, because he's still Austin. So like you're seeing him try to be lovey-dovey with these cats, but all he knows how to do is be like, "That's a solid ass cat."
Yeah,
it's like,
his voice is just made to
he's got one of the greatest voices.
Him and
of all
Shawn
time.
Michaels with the raspy fucking like. Some people couldn't believe somebody recently was like, I couldn't believe he actually talked like that. Oh, it was in the thing you sent me, Nash. When Shawn first
was
introduced.
A cool video, man. WWE just put out a video that's Nash sitting down going over his like favorite moments from his career. It was really good. Really good. Yeah. But yeah, he talks about that, how when he first met Shawn, he was like,
I'm Shawn.
Hey, I'm Shawn Michaels. He's like, what? All right, well, when you're a 7 foot tall guy, it's like, yeah. How tall? Nash is like legit 6'10", isn't he, or 6'9" or something?
Dude, yeah.
Because they always add a few inches. I mean, they're wearing wrestling boots that add a couple inches, but
yeah, they always take a little bit of liberty.
They always, and that's okay. Yeah, I never understand why people are like, that's so stupid. What? They told you that he was 7 foot tall when he's actually 6'10". Whipped fucking dude.
Who cares?
Go stand next to him and tell me you can tell the difference.
Yeah, it looks cooler on the tail of the tape, you know.
It's just he's a 7-footer, you know.
Right.
Yeah, he talked about how
like Will Ospreay or whatever.
He talked about how his favorite match of his entire career, he thinks it's the best match of his entire career, was against Bret Hart.
Well, a lot of people could say that.
Yeah, for sure.
To be fair.
I always, back to promos, a lot of my favorite
the King
promos,
of the Ring one was great.
King of the Ring one,
that was hugely...
Austin has an unlimited amount of god tier promos.
So does The Rock.
Yeah.
And that's why they were so great together, because they could just make
They were the two best talkers in the whole company.
Yeah.
Scott Steiner is another one of my favorite promos ever, and not because they're good, because they're shot. They're so off the wall, dude. And one of my favorite promos ever is the specific one.
The Equinox one?
The Equinox one, where he says, like, you know, my freaks understand size. They appreciate size. And they know you don't have to wait for the sun to set on the 47-degree axis or whatever.
And he's got
because the Big Dipper's coming when I go behind and do the bump and grind. It's only a matter of time because they call me the big bad booty daddy. It doesn't make sense. It legit doesn't make sense. He's just trying to get in what he wants to say. His bicep
was the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
Weirdest shit of all time. He would flex. It had a full bicep.
It was like an egg.
And then there was a lump on top of his full bicep.
Yeah.
And I never understood how his bicep looked like that.
Yeah,
he
it was fucked up.
Way jacked. Way jacked.
Oh man, how does it physically do that? Yeah, that's fucked up.
He just had so many funny times he would come out and just shit talk guys, especially in TNA. He was on fire in TNA on the mic.
And then he had the sacrifice one.
What? I don't remember
talking
this.
about how he does like a bunch of math. Or
Oh,
some
the math
shit.
one is amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. I love the one where he's constantly talking about how fat Samoa Joe is.
You got a 63 and 33
Yep,
and
he's
a
like-
third chance.
He's like, everybody has a 33 and 30. He's like, but I'm the big papa. So
Yeah.
I have a 66 and a sixth chance. We're like, dude, it's so ridiculous. So ridiculous.
Yeah, that went crazy.
I love
Somebody
him
like did the
with,
math on that, and like it actually like worked out.
No,
or
I
some
refuse
shit.
to believe that.
He like somehow somebody did the math, and they were like, he kind of makes sense for a little while in this promo. Like he had thought it out.
One of the ones I really liked, it's so simple, but to me, it just sums up his energy so perfectly and how much better at promos he was than he gets credit for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little interaction when him and Booker T were teaming in TNA, and Booker T's there, and he's got his wife with him as like his valet or whatever, right? His manager.
I know what you're talking about.
And they're trying to figure out who's going to go first or whatever. And Booker T's like, any, mini, miny, mo or whatever. And he's like, I'll go. And he's like, no. It's any, mini, miny, mo. And I'll go first. And
Yeah.
he's just like, no. Like, what the fuck? And they get in each other's
They
face.
were in like a backstage area.
Yep.
Just like,
And then Booker T's wife is like, hold up. You guys are like kids. She's like, plus, Booker said he's going for, like, he picked first. He goes first. And he goes, what? I'm good at any, mini, miny, mo.
Yeah. And then
Like
somebody
that
breaks it up.
shit.
Somebody comes in. And
Yeah. Just like that type of childish shit. Scott Steiner was a fucking god.
Yeah, the
dude. He
character
was
was
so good
great.
at that. So funny.
That's fun stuff.
Some of his
I
best
always-
stuff was TNA.
Yeah. Anything with Eugene was awesome.
Oh my god.
Eugene
That
was,
poor guy, man. Super talented, way beyond what he gets
He
credit
works at
for.
the performance center.
And stuck him with such a beat gimmick.
They're like, you're gonna play like a on the
you,
spectrum
You
guy.
have either Down syndrome
Yeah.
or
you
like
figure it out, but you're definitely
debilitating mental
Yeah.
disability. And we're
You're
really gonna try to
in
make
the
you do
red
this for a
on the
long
spectrum.
time.
Yeah,
It's like, dude,
and he's
that
doing,
is
and he's
you
doing
are
this,
just
biting his thumb.
you're
and shit.
playing a dangerous game with PR as a company by even doing
Yeah,
that.
and at the time it wasn't as bad. If you did it now, you'd be fucked.
Oh man, yeah.
But I thought it was fun,
It was fun. That's the thing.
especially
He
with
was
like
so
Cena.
good that
Cena
he
was like
made it
helping him
fun.
all the time and shit.
Yep.
Cena would like come to his rescue and shit.
And he used to come out like he came out dressed as Hogan one time and was doing all his moves and doing the poses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He got over.
Who? Oh, there's the promo with The Rock, dude. He's
Yeah.
talking. He's like, who's the? He like asks him a bunch of questions, and he answers The Rock every time. The Rock, right? And then he goes, and who is your favorite wrestler of all time? Triple H. It was
Yeah.
so good, dude.
Dude.
Ah, God, I love that shit.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Eugene's underappreciated, man.
That was
And you
classic.
said he's at the Performance Center now training
He
guys?
was for a long time. I don't know if he still is.
Oh,
but
man, that's cool.
yeah.
I hope so.
Forget what his name is. Oh man, I'd have to look up what his name is. But
It's fucking Eugene, though.
Mhm.
You know who else I thought was
dude,
really
the whole
good
thing
on the
with the
mic?
jump, with the red, white, and blue, like the fucking
Yeah, dude. He had like a collegiate jacket.
Yeah, it was
and tight. His
godly,
music was
dude.
hilarious too. It had like guitar in it.
And
and
he's
shit.
just waving. It was just
Yeah,
like,
dude.
it's great, dude. Whose idea was that?
I don't know. Vince probably.
That's tough. Maybe.
Probably
I don't know.
Vince.
I don't know if I could see it being Vince.
I don't know either. I also loved Santino Marella and
Yeah.
thought he was funny as
R-Truth.
fuck on the mic. I mean, R-Truth is one of my favorite of all time.
Some of those guys.
He's
just-
unbelievable, dude. I love R-Truth coming out and interrupting all the dudes in the ring for like a fucking elimination chamber or whatever.
yeah.
And he comes out and he's like, I'm whipping all your asses in the Royal Rumble or whatever. You're all smoked. And then Kane's like, what? What are you doing out here? And he's like, I'm here to, I'm whatever. And he's like, you're not even in the match.
Mhm.
And he has the like organic, like, huh? And he's like,
yeah.
I'm not? And he's like, no. And he just goes, oh, that's on me. That's on me. My bad, guys. Sorry. And
That's
just
my
leaves.
favorite shit. Is he's just
Yeah,
confused all the
dude.
time.
But the best R-Truth confused moment of all time for me is when he pulled a ladder out in the Royal Rumble, and everybody in the Rumble sees that he's doing it and goes, "The fuck?"
Yeah.
They all just kind of stop and are like, "What is he fucking doing?" And
He
he
like
comes in,
sets
sets a
up the
ladder up,
front.
runs up it, gets to the top, all excited, facing hard cam, perfect. Huh? And it just like so good, dude. So good.
That's like as close as you can get to Eugene, as
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Dude, R-Truth is amazing. And he's been amazing now. He's still relevant and is still doing amazing work right now. And he was in the Attitude Era.
Yeah. You know, a guy that gets a lot of flack, and probably rightfully so, but doesn't really exist in the industry anymore, Enzo Amore.
Oh man, he was an incredible promo.
Yeah.
He was really good.
He was good on the mic.
He was really good and had a really weird career.
I can't remember what it was
underutilized,
that
I thought.
he got. Like, it had to have been some weird sexual assault allegation or some weird shit.
I think it was a sexual assault allegation, but it was all
There was nothing to
all
it.
clear.
I don't think.
But I think WWE, from what I've seen online, and I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't know the details backstage. But the narrative that goes around online is that he was really tough to work with, and that it was a situation where it was like in the peak of like Me Too popping off, which is what it is. I'm not going near that. But in the peak of that, when that all started to happen and you were seeing that a lot, allegations came out against him. And I think what happened was WWE was already looking for a reason and went, fuck that.
They didn't want
So like, yeah, PR, but also they were just going, this guy's shit to work with.
It kills Big Cass and it kills Carmella.
Big Cass killed himself separately.
Yeah, but
and
it kills
Carmella
that faction.
survived and ended up being a women's champion.
Yeah, but their faction was what was over at the time.
It was. I agree.
My name is Enzo Amore.
The three of them
and
together was
a certified G and a bona fide stud. And you can't teach that.
He was amazing on the mic. He was amazing on the mic.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's a guy.
That was his big thing, though. That's why he got over, was from that.
He's a guy that I really wish wouldn't have gotten released.
Yeah.
He's a guy I really wish we would have seen his
like
full
moonwalk
potential.
Thing you would do, whatever the fuck it was.
He was so over.
Yeah.
More than most of the roster.
I like those guys where, like DX when Road Dogg would come in, and like when you come in with the mic, and you have like an intro. You know what I mean?
Road Dogg is the OG.
Yeah.
Of that, and for me, as far like, of course, our generation, we think that.
Yeah.
If there was a guy before that, sick. But the first guy we ever saw doing that was New Age Outlaws. Yeah, Road Dogg, man, he was incredible on the mic too.
That stuff was all great because and the crowd would be with it every time because they know what he's gonna say, you know. And it's like one of those things where you don't need a theme song; you just come out.
They had a good one,
but Big E did kind of the same thing with New Day. They started off with the fucking
coming out with mics. Yep.
And that's always fun because you know that it is like a mini promo for them every time.
Yeah, and
but you only do that to guys that like you trust, you know. You can't
Enzo
give
and
that
Cass
to everybody.
used it their debut on the main roster, the Raw after Mania, is one of the biggest I've ever seen in my time watching wrestling, my whole life.
Yeah.
It was like the whole crowd blew up hard, and the second their music hit, and they came out and cut a nasty promo. They were just so good. So good.
I think
Cass, he's recovered.
He's in
AEW. He's with Jericho. He's doing good work as Big Bill. I like Cass a lot.
The learning tree. Speaking of Jericho, one of the ones I liked would be because Jericho is just one of my probably second favorite of all time. Jericho is.
Who would be your first?
Triple H. Triple H is my favorite.
Nice.
But he had a promo where he had a list of holds right?
Mhm.
And it's like this long list, and it's like fucking literally like rolling out of the ring, like long. And he's reading them off. And then every like 5 or so, he goes, arm bar.
Yeah,
Arm bar
the
was in the list.
1004 holds.
Yeah. And so it goes to a commercial break, comes back, he's still in the ring.
He says armbar again.
Says
962.
arm bar like 7
Yeah.
times.
Dude, him in WCW was great. That was part of my favorite feud he ever had in WCW with Dean Malenko,
Yeah, yeah.
which had the biggest pop of Dean Malenko's career when Jericho.
Jericho's aura was awesome.
Oh my God, yeah. But when
with the
Malenko,
pigtails that go up, dude, that was Jericho.
when he had the belt and he was screwing over Malenko. And he was just fucking over Malenko constantly. And then Malenko ended up bouncing. He was just defeated. He bounces. Then they had a battle royal at a pay-per-view. I think it was Halloween Havoc.
Maybe.
Maybe not, but I think it might have been Halloween Havoc. But either way, they had a battle royal. And it was all cruiserweights. And the winner was going to face Jericho right after the battle royal. Which is, of course, he wanted it that way. Because in his head, he's going, yep, they're all going to kick the shit out of each other. Some random fucking, who cares, Chavo or something, which they're all good. And it's, you know. But in his head, he's like, yeah, they'll get beat to shit. And then I'll just get a fast win on them while they're already exhausted and had to fight through a whole battle royal.
Yeah.
And then the guy the last 2 guys are a masked luchador wearing all orange shit named Ciclope, who had been in matches before.
Yeah, I remember him.
And Hoovy. And Hoovy, at the very end, right in front of Jericho, shakes hands with Ciclope, hops over the top. And then the announcers are like, what the? And the crowd starts to be like, what? What is going on? And then Malenko turns down, takes the mask off, and you see that it's Dean, and it's the biggest dude. That pop is huge, huge for that. And then he faces Jericho and beats him and gets his cruiserweight title back. That was the best thing. Like, that was my favorite.
That was a great
story.
Time, was that cruiserweight division?
The cruiserweight division is the best thing that ever happened in WCW for me. Like, NWO was great, and especially like Hogan Sting, right? But look how it ended. They fucked it, and that was like so much faith in the company was lost when Hogan pulled it's not going to work for me, brother. The night of the 18-month build where he had to just lose clean, and he went, I just can't do it because it's about me. Yeah.
Well, we've seen guys do that.
And also the extreme watering down of the NWO by the time it's done.
Of course.
It hurts it for me. The cruiserweights were always incredible, dude.
All those, like, even WCW as a brand, like, died off pretty rough just because when they brought it over to WCW. It happened
quick and it went down quick.
Like,
it really only had a few years, man.
Well, yeah, but they tried to make Shane McMahon be the guy that, like, is running
which
WCW.
They bailed on immediately.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing. I've a few things about that. One, WCW was around for a wicked long time. Obviously, it was Jim Crockett Promotions beforehand. Before
well,
our
it definitely
time,
had its run, obviously.
And there were golden age of that when it was like Flair was the champ and shit, and Sting, like the Sting and Flair match.
Yeah.
There was great stuff. Steamboat was huge in WCW. Like there was a great era in the late 80s.
And Hall were great in it.
Yep. Well, then in the early 90s, it was trash for a while. And you had like the Dungeon of Doom and shit versus Hogan. And like I personally like Kevin Sullivan. I thought he was good as the Taskmaster. I thought he was a good booker. Yeah. The stuff that I now have been made aware that through the industry that he was responsible for, it's good stuff. And I have a lot of respect for what he did.
Yeah.
But Dungeon of Doom, that era was just very, and then the NWO happened and just turned the industry completely on its ass and changed everything forever. And it just did. The impact the NWO, the original story had of like Hall and Nash coming in, and then Hogan's the third man, and then they start to build up, and they're alienating people, and they're turning everything on its ass, and then Sting shows up as the Crow character, and then he just is going, only you. I want you,
I
Hogan, with
always
the bat
liked
pointing
that.
at him and stuff.
Yeah, and just it's like an ominous presence
Didn't
that's always
talk.
there.
Didn't talk for over a year.
And he's like in the rafters or whatever.
Yep. That whole run was the peak for me. And then they kind of blew that ending. Not kind of. They literally blew that ending. And then it was still good. And then Goldberg. And then the Goldberg run was also incredible. And then they kind of blew that. And then it started to go, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what I mean when I say WCW only had really a few years. Like, of course, it was around for a wicked long time before that. I get that.
Yeah.
But there was really only this few years when it was like the NWO starts until Goldberg ends. It was like 3-4 years. It wasn't that much time. It was like 95 to 2000 or 95 to 99 or something like that, you know?
Yeah, which is when I was watching it.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Because WCW in 2000 is when they like AOL bought them. They changed the logo. It was so bad.
Yep.
And then they sold
and
to
I was
WWE.
getting older, and it like was, you know, the Attitude Era was hitting like right when I was starting to get older, and it kind of just worked out perfectly for.
Yep.
They grabbed the right audience, is what happened.
But then after they bought WCW, and WCW ended, right? So this is what I heard about it, was that apparently there was a match that happened on Raw, because like Shane McMahon was like the guy that bought it, right?
Yeah.
And Vince was gonna have WCW keep running under WWE as another show to be like a competitor brand or whatever, with Shane running it, right? He saw a match with like Buff Bagwell and somebody else in it, and it was apparently not even that bad of a match, but it just was like a, kind of a dud. And Vince, on that one match alone, made his mind up that everybody in WCW was trash and went, never mind, and just said, nope.
We're just going to absorb.
We're just going to absorb it. Yep. And it's like, dude, you're bugging if you think that guy's... Well, here's the thing. To be fair, he already got Eddie and Benoit and Malenko and shit. So he was like, who are the good guys? Oh, Jericho? No, look at that. I already have Jericho. So he's going, who am I getting? 47-year-old Diamond Dallas Page. And I'm not getting Macho Man. I'm not getting Hogan. Not getting Hall. Not getting Nash. Not getting Sting.
The Jericho thing is one of my favorites.
Because all of them sat home.
With the fucking Millennium
Y2K
Countdown.
Or Y2J, rather. Debuting on The Rock.
Man,
dude, unbelievable debut. One of the greatest of all time.
They had the clock counting down. Like
Jericho is one of the greatest of all time, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely is.
Yep.
Dude, and he just like, he could make anything out of anything.
Yep. He's gotten like, so many different things
over. There's like a Stupid Idiot era. There's like a fucking...
The List?
The List was incredible.
Amazing.
Kevin Owens, when he made The List, dude.
Yep. Dude, that was so good.
That was wild.
He's like, hey, that turn. When Owens gave him The List for like his birthday or whatever.
And he was on.
And he's like, why am I on this?
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was so good. Jericho, man, he's one of my favorites ever too.
Yeah, if you're gonna talk about promos, it's like he's a guy.
If
Triple H was good with promos too.
Oh yeah,
there was a lot of them. Like I feel like he was underrated with a lot of that.
His sit down with Jim Ross, where he first said like, "You want to talk about a student of the game? I am the fucking game." And they like censor it, and he's just like, "All right." He's like, "Come on with the language." He's like, "No, you want me to shoot? I'm gonna fucking shoot." Like that promo is, dude.
Yeah.
Triple H is one of the greatest of all time. I'll never give a fuck about the hate he gets. People, you are out of your mind. Yeah,
because if anything, the guy
delusion.
had more hurdles to go through.
If you think that he is not one of the greatest of all time, you are just delusional.
Yeah.
It's period. Oh, he had the reign of terror where he was buried. Oh, he did? How many guys did he make?
Right, exactly. And then he came back for the Rumble in 16 or something. Won the Rumble because it was like Reigns had been like entered in the Rumble from first spot, and he was supposed to defend his title in the Royal Rumble, and then Triple H is like the 30th guy.
Yep,
comes out and steals it.
He's one of the greatest heels of all time.
There was that was fucking awesome too. I just watched Royal Rumble the other night.
So you were just saying that your favorite of all time is Triple H, and that your second favorite's probably Jericho.
Probably Jericho, yeah.
Who else would make up your top 5, do you think, if you had to pick?
Top 5. Austin.
Oh yeah.
The Rock probably has to be up there, and I would say Undertaker has to be up there.
Okay. Yeah. For me, my
Think about
top
Undertaker
5,
and like his moveset. I was watching. No, this was me playing 2K again. The Last Ride is such an awesome move.
so scary looking.
It's
He's so big. He's so
it's
big.
a power bomb, and he just like pulls you
It's
by
a
your
power
fucking
bomb, but he's
pants.
going, I'm 6'10".
Yeah.
So it's already wicked fucked up
And
if
he
I'm power
full
bombing
extends you.
Let's do this instead.
Yeah.
Up and do it from 10 feet in the air instead.
It's such a badass
Great.
move. And it wasn't part of his like moveset until he like became biker Taker
Yep.
basically. And then at the end of this, like by the time he has a match with Roman Reigns or whatever,
Yep.
he's already got like 6 signature moves. He's got like old school. He's got
Dude, so
choke
good.
slam, pile driver,
I
fucking
think
Last Ride.
if I had to pick my
Hell's
top
Gate.
5 favorite wrestlers, I don't know if I could order them, but it's, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker. I would say top 5 ever.
It's hard to order them for sure.
I would say Shawn Michaels, no question. Shawn Michaels is on my list.
Yeah, he's up there too.
He might be my number 1.
Like it's hard for me to do a top 5. You almost want to.
As a kid, my
you almost
favorite
want
wrestler
10
was
at
Shawn
least.
Michaels, like hands down.
Yeah.
But
If I listed a top 10, then I'd be like,
Top 10.
I need top 15 though, because
Yeah,
remember this guy,
yeah.
you know what
Yep.
I mean?
But guys that are in the discussion, it's like Michaels, Taker, Austin, Eddie Guerrero, and then Crow Sting.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mysterio is like one of everybody's
Yeah.
would put him up there.
He's like a
probably,
consensus.
But
Yeah.
like weirdly enough, they like don't include him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Probably 'cause
I
he's
think
still
I think
around.
he's got the respect now.
Yeah.
I think so. I think people
but
realize
I
it.
think once he's gone, it's
Like
when-
I was watching on Raw. It hit me. Gunther was wrestling Dom, right?
he's been around my entire life. Rey Mysterio Jr. has been
Hold it.
around my entire life.
Yep. Yeah. Ray has to be in my top 5. Yeah. I would say Ray's probably in my top 5. If I had to order them and I could only pick between one of the two of them, I'd probably put Ray in my top 5 over Eddie, but it'd be so close. I loved Eddie, man.
Yeah.
But Ray, as what he was in WCW in the Cruiserweight division when I was a kid, was the most important thing on WCW to me, only equaled by Crow Sting over everybody else. Nothing else in WCW mattered to me ever the way that Rey Mysterio Jr. and Crow Sting did in my childhood.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just so hard. Like
Jericho's way up there for
there's
me.
guys that,
Triple
like,
H
you
is
wanna
way up
put
there
on
for
there.
me. Yep.
Yeah,
Edge is way up there
like,
for me.
Orton probably should be up there. You
Orton's
know, if you
way
think
up
about
there.
it,
Yep.
there's guys that like should be in the conversation, but like there's just too many.
Yeah. Yeah. Bret Hart.
Yeah.
I fucking love Bret Hart. And then there's guys.
Like Jeff Hardy, like guys that I really like.
Yep. That
like
when you
I
were a
was
kid, they were
yeah,
just
it
the
was like
coolest. Jeff Hardy. I loved Edge and Christian.
Edge, yeah.
Who are your who do you think some of your favorite guys right now are?
Right now, my favorite active on the roster is Seth Rollins.
Good answer.
And I would say
Oh, Cena's one of my favorites too, ever.
yeah.
That's he's in that class of genuine, inarguable, objective Mount Rushmore guys. Period, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
where it's
for
like
sure.
you don't even have to really put him in your favorites list.
No, 'cause
he's on
just
the
naturally
mountain
there.
face.
Yeah.
So he just is expected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same with like Hogan, Rock, Austin. It's
Yeah.
like
And Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal, dude. Jinder Mahal, that's so funny, dude.
I think Gunther is up there right now for me.
Yeah, same.
One of my
Gunther, Drew
top
McIntyre.
Yeah.
I love LA Knight.
I gotta say Knight, yeah. Rollins is definitely, to me, is the
Rollins
best
might be the actual best.
Yeah, I think
right
he's the
now.
best in all aspects, you know. But
In
he's also
ring,
the most
character.
experienced, one of the most experienced on the
Yep.
roster. Besides
Punk.
Orton. Punk,
The
yeah.
only problem with Punk is that he was gone for so long.
Yeah.
But his work right now is some of the best of his career.
There was a huge gap like that. You didn't really get to see what
Yeah.
would have done
Yeah.
there.
And then there's the women. And all of my favorite women's wrestlers are guys from they're girls, but from the modern era, though. You know, it's not China or like Trish Stratus or Lita.
Oh, yeah.
Although I love them, but my favorites are like Bayley, Becky Lynch,
Yeah, I would say Becky.
Asuka. I fucking Io Sky is absolutely one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. She is unfucking believable.
AJ
dude.
Lee was really good.
AJ Lee is very good. I hope she comes back, man.
Yeah.
They're pushing for it. Big time. Rhea Ripley.
Paige was really good too when she
Paige
was
was good, man. Yeah, Paige was one of Stace's favorites. My wife.
Who else was? Oh, so I think Tiffany Stratton is up there.
Oh,
right now,
dude.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, she's amazing. Bianca's amazing.
And Liv Morgan's very good with her character work and shit. There's a reason she has a mouse.
Liv is one of the best in the entire world right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
with that.
right now, she's on a whole different level, man. She's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's
so
weird
is
because
Rhea.
her character wasn't anything.
And now it's so
but
much.
It like developed so much.
So good,
since
dude.
she came to the main roster.
Mm-hmm. Her promo work has been god tier. In ring, she's great. She's one of the people right now who's at the absolute top of the industry. Like her and Rhea Ripley are like the absolute top of the industry in the same way that guys like Cody and Roman are.
I gotta say Dom is probably up there in my top favorites.
Dom is one of my top
Active
5
guys.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would be Dom, LA Knight, Gunther, and who did I say originally?
Seth.
Yeah, Rollins.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep.
That would be probably the top 5 now. Although unless you want to include Orton.
Yeah. I love what was I just gonna say? Somebody we were talking about.
We were talking about the women. We were talking about Liv Morgan. Oh
yeah.
I don't know. Active. There's a lot of people on this active roster right now, though.
It's the most stacked roster ever. You could pick anybody and it'd be like, oh yeah. Oh, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is one of my actual favorites ever. Not just Cody right now.
Yeah.
And it's why it's been so
One
big.
thing
Because
I
like
noticed-
Cody, when he was Stardust, me and Stace were like, we fucking love this guy.
Yeah.
And he was already so good, but he was just disgruntled, you know?
Yeah.
And look how much he shook up the industry.
Well, he didn't want to be Goldust too, you know.
And I don't blame him. And what he did by leaving, he is part of being directly responsible for AEW existing.
Yeah, he is, for sure.
And I would argue that when he left is when it started to get shaky there.
Yeah. The thing right now, I can't stop hearing it. Like every time Cody talks, he has this wrestle speak, like breathe in that he does. It's very specific and nitpicky, but like when I listen to him when I hear him speak on the mic, he breathes in like heavy, and it's like a very promo-ish way to talk. And I can't like not hear it now.
That's so funny. I'm gonna guaranteed notice it.
You'll
now
notice
next time
it.
I see him. Yep.
Yeah.
I love him though. I think part of it is just his journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of
Seeing
course.
where he's at now.
Well, that was the whole thing. You know?
And he's the next Cena. He's the true next Cena. Roman doesn't have to be.
I don't think there should be a next Cena.
But that's what I mean. There's not really.
He would be in line for
But
it, yes.
he's the closest we've had. Like his connection with the younger audience.
Yeah.
As like a good guy, the merchandise, and he gets a similar amount of heat too.
And the guy,
a lot of
yes.
people thought that Cena was a fake and they just loved to hate him.
Well, that was the biggest thing. That's the reason Cena was so big, is because he was both a heel and a babyface at the same time.
Cena's or Rhodes has that thing about him, whereas Roman is he's just Roman, but is also a Mount Rushmore guy. The Mount Rushmore.
Well, Roman had that for a long time. Roman had the I'm a babyface, but there's a lot of people that hate me.
Yeah.
Now he's like still a heel,
but he's universally over now.
But he's also
because the Bloodline story was so good.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of what
it's weird because you have this storyline that's heel versus heel. You technically do.
I think a lot of what got Roman solidified Roman as unanimously over with the crowd is the smart mark contingent loved to hate him, right? And I might be wrong on this, who knows? But what it seemed like to me was the last thing he did to give to the industry showed everybody, oh, he's one of the all-time greats. Because we're so used to we're jaded by the fact that a lot of those guys fight for their spots with dirty politics and shit, like Hogan, you know? And we're sick of seeing that. And it would be so easy to hate him if he scummed out on everything. But when WrestleMania 40 happened and he did business perfect, it just solidified this guy will give everything to make sure everything's perfect. And you just can't hate on that anymore, you know? And I think that move was the last thing.
It was. It definitely was. That was the big thing, was like
same with Seth.
Vince
just
was
gave
trying so
everything
hard to get Roman over, and I don't think he just didn't do it the right way.
No,
and eventually
because he got over with the Wise Man and with the Bloodline.
Yeah,
big.
You can just go, okay, here's how you actually do this. You know,
he's so good, man. So many. He has records for I think he has the record for the most main events at WrestleMania. 9.
Well, it's like a longest title reign, isn't it?
Yeah. He actually does have the longest title reign. Yeah. For the WWE title. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, he's undeniable at this point.
Absolutely.
He's gotten much better talking too. It's like night and day.
Oh my God. For years now. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he learned. Big time. And now he's a Mount Rushmore guy.
That was a big thing. You can bet your ass he didn't fucking forget that moment in the ring with Cena in 2017.
Not in front of a live crowd. No chance.
No,
but that's the Mount Rushmore thing. Is like people always say, well, it can only be 4 guys. I disagree. I don't get that. It's not only 4 guys. To me, the Mount Rushmore is a spot. It's a guy that carries himself successfully as the 1A top of the entire industry globally. And there's only ever been a handful of them. Hogan. You could argue Flair.
Hogan
when he was the world champion in the NWA.
I would say Flair,
Flair, Hogan, Austin, Rock, Cena, Roman, and now Cody is that right now.
Yeah.
It's a rare, it never happens. It didn't used to happen. Austin Rock was the first time we had 2 Mount Rushmores at the same time.
They just happened to be at the same time.
They just happened. I would argue at this point, you have to consider Orton in that talk, because him and Cena were the Rock Austin of their entire generation.
I can agree with this, yeah.
Orton and Cena.
Orton is like super appreciated, but also not appreciated.
I don't think people talk about it enough that for Cena's whole run as the Mount Rushmore guy of the company, or of the industry, really, of his run, Orton was his Austin to his Rock.
Orton is still doing it at a high level, too.
Yep, yeah. And
his spot when Rollins goes to stomp him at Mania and he pushes him up and catches him in the RKO is one of the sickest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, if you ask wrestlers in the industry who some of the all-time greatest full spectrum guys ever are, they're gonna say Orton. So he is,
He's been a big part of a lot of things, like Evolution. He was
Everything.
part of the
One of the youngest champions ever.
the Rollins feud there with Triple H,
Yep.
like the
Yep.
Authority. He
Daniel
was part of
Bryan.
that.
He was in the Daniel Bryan moment.
I mean, you could
Yep.
you could argue he's been in most of the big feuds
Yeah, that's what I mean.
over.
Him and Cena were paired the way The Rock and Austin were, and now we have that again with Roman and Cody.
Yeah, because you always need
Are
a bad guy
in
to
the same time, the Mount Rushmore guys of this era. You know, it's crazy. It's really crazy, and we're seeing new guys step up that are carrying world title main event level work at that level, like Damian Priest and Gunther.
Mhm.
You know, Damian Priest has to be the most growth I've seen in years.
fast too.
Fast, from can barely cut a cohesive promo to one of the top guys
Yeah.
in the company.
And his character
like
is
a year
just
and a half.
Damian Priest.
Yep.
Like it's not
He
it's not
went
over the
from
top.
being the most who cares guy in Judgment Day
Yeah,
to above it.
Yeah.
He's not even in it anymore, and
Right.
he's just and had a world
and
title.
that was the storyline, is
Yeah.
because that
Yep.
was their excuse.
Yeah, he's so good on the mic now, so good in the ring. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
he's one of
definitely
the
out there.
fastest growth guys I've ever seen.
Dude, within a year.
I mean, Kurt Angle's the fastest ever.
Yeah,
Came in and was world champion in a year from he never touched it, nothing, and was cutting some of the best promos. Like,
yeah, Kirk could do it all though.
Kurt and Austin as chicken shit heels under Vince is one of the funniest things ever, dude.
Yeah,
That is so funny. How much time we
I
got?
always like that kind of stuff too. Like with
Where we at?
Rollins, we're at an hour.
Hour. Jeez. Okay. Well, we're gonna talk forever if we don't call it. So, yeah. Food for thought next time, though.
Yeah, we started talking about promos and then we didn't, which is good.
But
'cause
that's good.
there's
That's what
no
we
way
do.
I was going to carry that whole thing with
Yeah,
promos.
that's the whole point, though, is to start with something, and we're just gonna riff about wrestling.
Yeah.
As lifelong fans, you know.
Yeah.
I can't believe we did an hour.
I don't know when this episode's going to
Flew
come
by.
out, but it'll come out.
Yeah, someday we're gonna have to use it.
Yep.
For sure.
All right, I'm going to watch the Packers game here, and that's it.
Yeah. Hell
All
yeah.
right, we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Peace.